Deputy Minister Designate for Information, Sylvester Tete, has pledged to support the repeal of a provision in the Criminal and Offences Act 1960 Act 29, which identifies a journalist to have committed a misdemeanor if found to have published or reproduced an information which is likely to cause fear and panic or to disturb the public peace, knowing or having reason to believe that the information is false. Sylvester Tete adds the NPP government has condemned attacks on journalists on numerous occasions and cannot be solely blamed for Ghana's recent poor performance on the press freedom rankings.
As Ghana joins the rest of the world to mark World Press Freedom Day, questions about media freedom in the country continue to be asked. The country has dropped more than 30 places since 2018, from 23rd in that year to 62nd in 2023. One of the laws that can cause the arrest of a journalist is the Criminal and Offences Act 1960 Act 29, which says a person who publishes or reproduces false information commits a misdemeanor. But the Deputy Information Minister Designate, Sylvester Tete, who defended the attacks on journalists that have taken place since President Akufo-Addo took office, said he will support a bill to repeal the Criminal and Offences Act if presented before Parliament.
If you look at all the infractions that has happened over the last 5 years, I doubt if all the infractions are infractions directly coming from political actors. There are non-political actors as well that has contributed to these infractions we are talking about. That's why I keep making the point that it's a shared responsibility. Education, advocacy, reforming our laws. Look, there are occasions that the ministry itself or government itself had to issue statements condemning the police action on some of these matters. I have shared that position personally going forward. Today I'm in government, tomorrow I may not be in government. That is how life is. Tomorrow I'll end up perhaps practicing as a journalist. So if I help to ensure that the space, the ecosystem is free and fair, it benefits everybody and entrenches democracy. So nobody is taking that it is stuck that you can't do anything about it. So Evans,
So you're in favor of repealing it?
We should. As a matter of fact, we should. Okay.
Executive Director of Media Foundation for West Africa, Suleiman Ibrahima, bemoaned the rate at which politicians are starting to own media companies, which are used for political propaganda, and called for a law to be implemented that will ensure that media owners have the capacity to pay their workers before they are given license to operate.
A lot of them are set up by politicians, an MP, and you can name them, you know them. And so it's all about, if my party is in power, I use my position to go for a frequency, set up a radio station in my village to do the propaganda for me as the MP for the area. So I think the first thing is to have regulations that would set up certain parameters on who is qualified to have a radio station in terms of your management capacity, your resource capacity, the capacity to recruit at least a minimum number of professional journalists to be able to operate.
Professor Audrey Gajekbo is the Dean of the School of Information and Communication Studies at the University of Ghana.
We know that there's a lot of talk, a lot of concern about disinformation. We're about to go into elections, and I worry, and I know that our lives are going to be miserable, because now we even have AI, and AI is allowing all kinds of things to happen. So there is a lot to be concerned about, and we ought to insist.
Deputy Executive Secretary of the National Media Commission, Alexander Ni Kate Bannerman, said the commission is trying its best to protect the safety of journalists.
If you talk about safety of journalists, I was at Class FM today, and I asked them, why didn't they report? We have seen it, and we've been there. Actually, it's with the police investigating. So I encourage them that last year we held a program with Ministry of Information on the status of some of these infractions. So I encourage them that they should get us the chronology of events so that we can do a follow-up with the police.
The theme for this year's World Press Freedom Day is A Press for the Planet, journalism in the face of the environmental crisis.
Meanwhile, Ghana has moved from the 62nd position on the World Press Freedom Ranking to 50th, an improvement from the previous position. Let me share excerpts of the latest report with you. And Ghana's rank globally is 50th out of 180 countries. A lot more has been said there. So this is Ghana's rank globally comparatively. In 2018, it ranked 23rd. In 2019, 27th. 2020, 30th. In 2022, it ranked 60th. 2023, 62nd. So you can see that it's been worsening over the period. In 2024, we are back at 50. Are there factors that contributed to this? So this accumulates to 67.71% of the score. Now let's look at factors that may have contributed to this. And before we talk about the factors, these are the percentage accumulation of how we've performed. Now, if you look at the indicators, it says that on political grounds, we scored 61.88%, and it comes to 59.50%. That is in 2024. On economic grounds, 47.94% in 2023. And then in 2024, it now gets to 47.92%. Now, legislative-wise, 79.62%. And in 2024, 74.41%. And if you look at the status, you can tell that it's all bad signal, which is red, showing. The only one that is taken green is 61.25%, which is security. If it comes to social, it's even worse, which is 79.98%, representing 73.41% in 2024. So in 2023, it was worse. 2024, it's become a little better, but it's still red. Security-wise, it's improved, which is 82.94%, which is taken green. And so it's if you look at generally Ghana's performance as 50 on the index out of 180 countries, not really much that was done, but it's actually a problem with press freedom globally, which is actually making Ghana come 50th. Because if you look at the status over there, it's all taken red, which is giving you only security as the improvement that we've had.